Good morning. Last class we started with the 12th chapter, that is data file handling. So today we'll be starting with data files. So what is a file? File is nothing but information stored, right? We store information in a file and it is used to store the information permanently for future use, that is whenever we want, we can retrieve it, we can edit it and we can save it back. Or I can say a file is one which stores data pertaining to a specific application for later use in a storage device. So, the storage device, when I say storage device, can you name can we name some storage devices? Some of the storage devices are like optical disk, magnetic disk, I can have magnetic tapes. So apart from that you have USB drives, all these are hard disk, all these are storage devices. So we store files on that and it can be retrieved whenever required. Depending on how the data is stored, the files are classified into two types, text file and binary file. When I say text file, a text file stores information in ASCII characters. So, a text file stores information in ASCII characters. It is nothing but a stream of characters which are sequentially processed by the computer in a forward direction. Okay, a text file contains visible characters, like you can read it, you can see the contents of the file on your monitor and you can edit it also by using any one of the text editors. Some of the text editor is Notepad, your VI editor. Those who know Unix or who do Unix or Linux, they'll be familiar with the VI editor, or you can also have the C++ editor. So it is nothing but the data is stored in the form of ASCII characters and then you can see that or read the contents of the file on the monitor and it can anytime you can use it, you can edit it, you can retrieve it. So in text file, each line contains 0 or more characters. You know what is a line, and each line is terminated or delimited with the end of line character. So if you want to read till the end of line, you need to read till the end of line character. Until EOL character you can read the file, and then that is the end of line, but then there is also EOF, end of file, wherein until the end of file is encountered, a file can have n number of lines. So until the end of file is encountered, you read the file, and a line is delimited by a end of line character. And then your C++ programs, what you write is also a text file. And then the file extensions maybe txt, yeah, txt is a file, the file extension txt. Text files may have that extension. And then next is the binary file. As the name suggests, what is binary? Binary is nothing but it's a language which is understandable by the system, that is zeros and ones in a memory, that is the data is stored, data or information is held in memory in a binary form, and so you need not translate anything since it's already there in the binary form. They can directly be processed. They can be either sequentially processed or randomly processed depending on the need of the application. And there is no end of line character, delimiters are not there, like there is no special delimiter character for a end of files. So .exe, .obj are some of the file extensions of binary files. So, and one more thing is, like for example, if I want to store 15782 in a binary file as well as a text file, what would be the size of the file? So, in text file, each character would be 1 byte. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bytes. Whereas this would be a text file. Whereas in a binary file, since it's an integer, it will be, so it depends on the data type. So if it's an int value, it may be 1 digit, 2 digits or a 3 digit number, it will be 2 bytes only. Whereas in a text file, each character is 1 byte. So if it's a 3 digit number, it's 3 bytes, otherwise 2 or 1 byte. So depending on the number of digits, the number of bytes required would change. That is one of the difference between a text and a binary file. So this is a commonly asked question, the difference between text files and binary files. A text file, it is a file that stores information in ASCII characters, yes, and this contains information in the same format as it is held in the memory. That is nothing but binary format. Each line of text is terminated with a end of line character, that is, or a delimiter. That is, yeah, we went through that. Each line is terminated by a end of line character in text files, whereas you don't have any delimiters for a line in a binary file. And to read and write, like you need translations, you don't need translations, it can be directly processed. This is sequentially processed, whereas this can be sequentially or randomly processed depending on the need of the application. So txt, .rft are some of the extensions of a text file, whereas bin, .exe, .obj are some of the extensions of binary files. Please have a look, go through this. Now using files. So why do I need file? I can read from a file, I can write to a file, I can append to a file, I can read and write to a file. So till now what we have done, what have we used? We have used cin and cout. Yeah. For what? This is to take in the input from the keyboard, and this one is to write the output to the monitor. Like I need to read with this, yes. Taking in the input is nothing but reading the input with cin, and writing the output or writing out from a program to a programmer's input, from the programmer's output. So cin is to read in the input to the program, anything in, and out is nothing but the output or any message. It can be if any errors are there or any messages, like from the program to the user. It's out of the program, from the program to the, normally whenever I use cout, it is on the monitor, that is the standard output device, and cin is from the keyboard, cin and cout. The same way, and for using this, which header file do I include? I include hash include iostream.h header file, right? I include iostream.h header file, that is input stream, output stream, iostream through multiple inheritance. I would have got iostream.h header file for cin and cout to read from the keyboard and to write it on the monitor. Same way, you can take input from a file and write it to the monitor, or you can take input from the keyboard and write the output to a file, or I can read from a file and write to a file. Yes, I can do all of this. So, this chapter we would be writing programs wherein I would be reading from a file and writing the output on the monitor, or I would be reading from the keyboard and writing the output to the file, or I'll read and write from a file to a file. So, all this we'll be doing, and we'll be doing one program for each. To use files in C++, we need to follow these steps. Whether I am reading or writing, I need to use these steps, which is common if I am using files for taking in the input or writing the output. To use files in C++, we need to follow the following steps. Request the preprocessor to include the header file fstream.h. Yes, if I am reading from a file or writing to a file, I need to include the header file fstream.h. Like same way I will include iostream if I am using scene and cout. Same way you need to include fstream.h header file. Use declaration statements to declare the file streams we are going to use. Whether we are going to use, we studied about file streams, the input stream, the output stream, right? So, we need to declare what we are going to use. Depending on that, we need to declare the objects of those corresponding classes. With the help of those objects, I should be able to open the file and I can write or read depending on the object. Fine. So, use declaration statements to declare the file streams we are going to use. Prepare each file for reading or writing by using the open function. Yes. So, without opening a file, you can neither read from it or write to it. So, first thing is you need to open it, and after that, once you complete doing whatever you are doing, whether reading, writing, you need to close it. Otherwise, it gets closed only when you exit the application. Process the file, yes, and after that close the file. So, what am I going to do? The first thing is, if I am using files, then I need to have fstream.h header file included in my program. That is, I should have a statement hash include fstream.h. Yes, I need to have hash include fstream.h, and then you need using the declaration statements, like depending on reading or writing, you need to have file streams you are going to use. Like you need to declare the file stream, whether I am using the input stream or the output stream, and the fstream.h can work for both input and output. Then prepare each file. Like you need to prepare the file means first you need to open the file. Like when you are trying to read from a file, it should be it is compulsory or mandatory that the file should exist. Without the file existing, you will not be able to open it. Whereas writing to a file, if the file is already there, it will open the existing file. Otherwise, it will create a new file and give it to you when you are writing to it. But for reading, you need to have the file to open it in a reading mode. So, using file function open, process the file, that is what other operations you are going to do, whether reading or writing, and then after that you need to close the file once your reading or writing is done. So, these are the steps which you need to follow using files. Please have a look. Next is how to open a file. Yes, whether you are opening it for reading or writing, but then you need to open a file first, right? So how do I open a file with file stream object? Yes, if I have to read from a file, I need to have input stream object. I need to open the file with an input stream object, and if I am writing to a file, I need to open the file with an output stream object. Reading from a file, that is reading from a file to the program is in, writing from the program to the file is out. So if I have to read from a file, depending on read or write, depending on the operation performed, I need to use the relevant stream object. So I can open a file with that object using two ways, in two ways. One is using the constructor function of the class. What is a constructor? Constructor is nothing but a function having the same name as the class name without any return type, declared in the public section of the class. And then one more thing, when I am writing to a file, I should create an object for OF stream. Yeah, output file stream object, that is OF stream object, I need to create. And if I am reading, what should I do? IF stream object. Fine. If I am reading from a file, I need to have an object for IF stream. If I am writing to a file, I need to have the object for OF stream class. So these two are classes, and then I can create an object for F stream wherein I can use both reading and writing. So that time you need to specify the mode of opening, whether you are opening in a read mode or a write mode. Getting it? So using the constructor function of the class, or I can use the member function open of the class. So either I can use the member function open or using the constructor function. These are the two methods with the help of which I can open a file using the file stream object. Please have a look. Next, opening a file to write. So method 1, using the constructor OF stream. Yes, while writing I need to have an object of the class. I need to create an object of the class OF stream. So how do I create an object? The class name space the object name. Yes, we have done this many number of times. So class name space the object name is the syntax for creating an object. Here also I am going to do the same, but implicit. How do you pass? While creating the object, I will pass the file name as an argument to the constructor. That is OF stream, stream object and the file name. If I want to, whichever file I want to open for writing. Getting it? Because OF stream is for writing, IF stream is for reading. So when here I am creating an object for this class and I am passing the name of the file which I need to write to. Like, so you need to open that file. So I am passing that as an argument here so that the file would be open for writing. Next example is this. See, OF stream out file. So OF stream is the class, out file is the object, and object is anything user defined name. It's not a keyword. Out file, just I have given the name of the object as out file. I can say like this also. It doesn't matter, it's a user defined name. And then in double quotes you need to give the name of the file which you want to write to. So this is using constructor. Please have a look. The next one is method 2. So we are comfortable with method 1. Method 2 is, first you need to create the object of that class and object dot the function, the same way how you call a function. So OF stream space out file. This is how I create an object. Class name space the object name is the general syntax. Same way I am creating here OF stream space the out file. Then out file is the object dot the function. Object dot open is a method to which I am passing the file name in double quotes which I want to open, comma the mode. This is out mode. The writing to is out, reading from is in. So iOS scope resolution operator out. But when I create an object for OF stream, it is implicitly understood that you are opening a file in out mode. So if I don't specify this also, it will be out mode only, but I need to specify the name of the file when I am opening a file for writing. So if this file is already there, it will open the file. If the file is not there, it will create a file by this name and it is open for writing. Please have a look. Now we will write two programs so that you will understand it in a better way. Then we will write a program to read from a file. After that, we will write a program to read and write. Okay. First, we will write to the file and then we will read from the file and print it on the monitor. So, and please make a note of these two. Then we will open the same files what we have here in a read mode. Like now I am opening a file in a write mode. I am writing some data into the file for both these files. Then I will open the same file and I will read from it and print it on the monitor. Getting it? Here writing to a file means I will be taking the input from the keyboard and then instead of the monitor I will write it to the file. That is, write a C++ program to open a file and write a sentence to it, or I can say a message to it. Okay, I will ask the user to enter a message. So the user would be entering it through keyboard and then I will read it and I will write it to a file. Fine. And when we do reading from a file, we will open the same file and read the message whatever you have written. And the same way, the second program is to read the details of a student. I can say of students. Let it not be one student. Let the user decide how many students' data he wants to enter. From the keyboard, you are going to read and you are going to store the data in a file. And later, when we do reading from a file, we will open the same file and take the input from the file, that is whatever data is stored from that, and I will print it on the screen. Fine. So, we will start with the first one, that is a C++ program wherein I would be reading a message from the keyboard and I would be writing it to a file. Please make a note of the program statement. Now we will start with a program. So how do I start it? Hash include iostream dot h since I am writing to a file, so I need to include fstream.h header file. because I am using files here. So let me write void file write. Okay, let this be the function name, file write be the function name. So first thing, what should I have? Let me say I need to have a message, right? I need to take in the message from the user. For that reason, I need to have a variable which stores that, and message is nothing but an array string. So string is array of characters. So char message of maximum 50 characters length. So maximum of 50 characters length I am taking it. Then what will I say? Like now I need to create an object also of OF stream, right? Because I am writing to a file. So OF stream, let me say O file, or instead of out file I will name it as O file. So I have created an object of OF stream class. Why do I need that? Because I am writing. So I would need an object of OF stream, and I have a variable which message which stores the message entered by the user. After that, cout and enter a message. Okay, so now my message can contain spaces also. So if I use cin, it will take the message only till a space is encountered. Once the space is encountered, cin takes only the data till a space is encountered. If I want to read the entire message along with the spaces, then I need to use getLine function. So cin dot getLine and then comma 50. Yes, this is done. Now I have asked the user to enter a message, and I have, this is a comma here, I have taken in the message. Now what should I do? See, normally how you will do, you would use cout statement and you write it on the monitor, correct? But then here I need to write it to a file, correct? To write to a file, first what should I do? I need to open the file first. Before opening the file, I cannot write to it. So how do I open? Let me use the open function. I can open in two ways. That is, one using the constructor. That time I should have passed it here when I created O file, or I can use it using the, I can open it using the open function. So let me use the open function. How do I do that? Object dot function, correct? So it will be O file dot open, and then what is the argument I need to pass? It will take two. One is the mode and one is the name of the file I need to open. But since I have created an object for OStream, it will always be open. It is by implicitly open in the write mode. So I need not specify explicitly like iOS out, in and out. I need not specify. It will be in the out mode. So let me give the name of the file in double quotes. So let me name it as example.txt. Okay. So now I have opened this file example.txt, and now I have to write it to that, correct? How do I write it? I write it if I have to write it on the monitor, I will use cout, right? Now I have to write it to the file. So I will say file, okay, file message. So file is the object. Since I am writing to the file, I will not be using cout here. I will use file because I am writing it to the file. Which file? Example.txt, because I have opened that file for writing. So first I need to open, then after that, what is the message? I have taken it here, scene.getLine, whatever the user enters through the keyboard, right? I have asked the user to enter a message and the user has entered a message. So whatever the user has entered would be stored in the variable message. Then I am opening a file to write. The name of the file is example.txt. If the file is already there, it will open. Otherwise, it will create a new file and open it. So ofile.open, that is object.open, and then that one is opened. After that, I write file and then the message. So whatever is the message entered by the user would be returned to the file. So once I write it to the file, I need to close the file, right? So file dot close. This completes my function file write. So what am I doing here? I am creating first I am declaring a variable which will hold the message entered by the user, and since I am writing to a file, I create an object of ofstream class, and then what am I doing? I am asking the user to enter the message, and since the message can have blank spaces in between and scene takes only till a space is encountered, I am using the getLine function to read the entire message along with the spaces. After that, to write to a file or to read from a file, whichever operation you are doing, you need to open the file. So I will say file dot open, and which file? Example.txt is a file which I am trying to open. After that, using the file object, I write the message. Here I am writing the variable, like cout message will print it on the screen. The same way of5 message will print it in the file which is example.txt. After that, I am closing the file. This is my function. Please go through this and make a note of this. Then I need to write my main. So how do I write my main? My main is like void main clear screen. So what is the name of the file? File write. This is the function call. End of my main. Please make a note of the second program statement, that is, write a program to read details of a student from the keyboard and write it to a disk file. So we can say read students details, like let the user decide how many he wants to enter. Let us not restrict it to a single student. So you will be reading any number of students the user wants from the keyboard, and then you are going to write it to a file. Okay. Please make a note of the program statement. Now we'll start writing it. So hash include iostream.h hash include conio.h. After that, let me say ctype.h. I'll tell you, I'll be making use of a character function, built-in function here. That is why I will be including ctype.h header file. Since I am writing to a file, I will be including fstream.h header file. So hash include fstream.h header file. So let me name my function as student, since I am going to read the student details. So I will say void student, then I will take two details, like one is the registration number of the student and name of the student. I would be taking it from the user and I would be writing it to a file. So I will say int registration number, then char name, say maximum of 20 character length, and let me have ch is equal to lowercase y in single quotes. So I am declaring a character variable ch is equal to, I am giving an initial value y and it has to be written in single quotes and it is in lowercase. The y is in lowercase. So these are my declarations. After that, what should I do? After that, I need to create an object of OFStream class. Yes, because I am going to write. So OFStream class object I need to create. So how do I do that? Normally, how do you create objects? By class name space the object name. Same way here also I will be doing OFStream and let my name of the object be out file, because I am writing it to a file. So let me say it is out file. So OFStream is the class and out file is the object. Now let me open the file for writing. How do I do that? Out file dot open, and let me say the name of the file is student.txt comma ios out. So what was the general syntax? Open, that is the file name space the mode, file mode. Like I will open it in a out mode, because I will be writing it to a file, it will be out mode. And iOS, this is a scope resolution operator out. If I don't specify anything, last program we didn't do that, but still when I open a file with the out file, that is an object of the OFStream, it will be in out mode only, but here let me specify it. After that, what I should do? Please make a note, so that since I am giving the user the choice, like he can enter any number of things, then I need to put that in a loop, correct? Because more than one student data, if you want to enter, then it has to be in a loop. And which iterative statement will I be using? Since I am not sure, like the user would want to enter 10, 5, 50, whatever number of students details, when I am not sure, then I will be using a while loop, because I should know before itself how many students data I am entering if I am using a for. But then here I am giving the choice to the user, like any number of students data he can enter. So let me say I will be using the while loop. Okay, like I will write the while loop. Please make a note of this. So what have I done here? I have declared int registration number, char name of maximum 20 characters length, and I have one more variable ch which has an initial value y in lowercase. After that, I am creating an object of the OFStream class. The name of the object is out file. Why am I creating an object of the OFStream class? Because I am going to write the details to the file. Then after that, I need to first open the file to write. So I am using the open function here. object dot the open function, and it takes two arguments. One is the name of the file and then is the mode. First is student dot txt is the name of the file which I am going to write to, and then ios scope resolution operator out. Like if I say in, it is for reading, out is for writing. So this will continue now. Let me start with while. While ch is double equal to y. Again, this is in lowercase. While ch is double equal to, here I need to use the relational operator which will say whether ch is equal to y or not. Yeah, it will give you a true or a false value. Don't put a single equal to here, which means that it is an assignment operator. It will assign the value of RHS to the LHS, and you cannot put it in a loop. Like, yeah, it will not work. So here while ch is double equal to y, whether I am checking whether the value of ch is y or not. And please make a note, it is in the lower case because C++ is case sensitive. So if you cannot, it's lowercase or uppercase, it differentiates between the cases. So I will be using lowercase here. Then after that, see out, what do I need to tell the user? The user should know what to enter, right? So I'll say enter your registration number. So you're asking the user to enter the registration number. After that, what will I do? So I will take in the registration number, yes. So I will be taking in the registration number, correct? Enter your registration number. I am taking in the registration number, whatever is user entered. Now I need to write this to a file, correct? Then how do I do that? Out file. Yeah, that was the name of my object, whatever I created. Then I will say out file registration number. After that, see out, enter your name. See in name. I am taking in the name from the user. After that, what I need to do? I need to again write that also inside the file. So out file so now I am writing the name also to the out file. First, what did I do? I asked the user to enter the registration number. I took in the registration number. Then after that, how if I want to print it on the screen, I would say see out registration number, but then I am not doing that. I am writing it to a file. So I will say out file registration number. After that, I am asking the user to enter the name. I am taking the name with cin from the keyboard, and with out file object I am writing it to the file. What is the file? The file was student.txt, right? Then one set of data is entered. Now I will ask the user, does the user want to continue? Like, does the user want to enter one more student data? So how will I do that? See out, do you want to continue? Then see in ch, yes, ch was the variable I am taking in whatever is the user's choice, and the while loop will execute only the choices yes, that is the lowercase y. So, as a user, for me lowercase or uppercase y means y. So, I would want to continue, I would press y. I will not bother about the case. What you can do is, I will say ch is equal to lower ch. So, whatever is the case, if suppose the ch entered is in lowercase, it will be the same, but if the user enters y in the uppercase, it gets changed to lowercase and it will get stored in the ch. So, when it checks for the condition, it will be true. So, toLower is a function in ctype.h header file. So, for that reason, I have included ctype.h header file. toLower, this one. Then after that, what should I be doing? I shouldn't be doing anything. I should close my while loop. So, this is my while, that is while ch is double equal to y, cout, enter the registration number. I am taking in whatever is entered through the keyboard. Then I am writing that to the file using the file object of OF stream, that is out file registration number. The same way I am taking in the name. I am asking the user to enter the name, taking the name from the keyboard and then writing that to the file. After that, I am asking, do you want to continue? C in ch, yes, the user will enter something, one single key press, yes or no or whatever, like until if it is anything apart from y, it will not continue. If I press y, whether it's in upper or lower case, y means a y to the user. Since this is case sensitive, it will differentiate between uppercase and lowercase. So, as a user, if I enter uppercase y, when it checks in the beginning of the while loop, it will not execute. For that reason, I am converting ch is equal to toLower of ch. I am converting it to lowercase and storing it in ch. It will go back, check. If it is y, again another student's data would be taken, otherwise it will exit the loop. Asking the user to enter, taking in data, writing it to the file. This is what we are doing here. So, after that, what should I do? I should close my file, yes. So, out file dot close. This should be outside the while. Then close my function. Yeah, please make a note of this. Hopefully you have understood this. After this, I need to write my main. So, this is my main function. Please make a note of my main. So, in today's class, we did writing to a file. In tomorrow's class, we'll continue with reading from a file, and then we'll also do writing to a file, closing it and opening the same file and reading it. Then we'll do some programs based on that. After that, we'll do file pointers. So, please make a note of the homework questions. First question, what is a stream? What are input and next question. Which header file is required for file handling functions? Next question. What is ifstream class? And write member functions belonging to it. What is ifstream class? All these are 1 markers. Mention the types of files and what are they. Files. The next is name the different methods of opening a file with an example. Please make a note of these homework questions. Hopefully, you've understood today's class. In next class, we'll be continuing with reading from a file. So, see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.